59. So the right side of my head is hurting. There is a sharp pain into the right shoulder. The right ear is also hurting. And that's my right ear. And this is the temperature. So it's 75.4, and the heat is turned off. So a lot of pain on the right side of the head, eyes and nose, the right nostrils, the right side of the face. So just like I'm being bamboozled and my voice is suppressed and I was falsely charged, and these signals are around me causing these symptoms. Just like this is happening at 25 Bamberg Circle, Toronto, run by PK, mainly the Chinese residents who are taking turns, but also other ethnic background as well, working with PK, who's working for the highest of the high, whether that be in Canada or in China or both, who knows. But the highest of the high, of course, means the elite. He also says he's working with the government. So the temperature went up to 74.5. He also says he's working with the government. So what is going on right now in the economy, the complete shutdown of the economy, is also being done by our government, quote unquote. But the government is taking orders from a global system, a global set of organizations, the World Health Organization, the UN. So the government is not doing what the people voted them in to do. They are taking instructions from another organization. So we've lost our sovereignty. We are not a sovereign nation. So we need to claim our independence as a country. We're not taking part in a global order, a world order with a global government. This is not what a democracy is all about. So what is going on right now is undermining our democracy. Our leaders are being infiltrated and maybe blackmailed, who knows? I mean, the Epstein Lolita Express was used to record, the island was used to record sexual encounters with minors. Why are our leaders going along with this agenda? Is somebody blackmailing them? Is an organization blackmailing them? So this is a really good question. It's a deep question that needs to be looked at. I know I joke around a lot, but underneath all the joking, there is a lot of there is a very serious push to get the message across. So what I'm seeing happening in Canada is contrary to every democratic rights that was given to us and the country by the voters. We voted in a democratic system. We agreed to a democratic system, but what is going on right now has nothing to do with democracy. It has to do with a takeover. So just like PK and my brother, who's now deceased, and all the informants who are getting contracts from the Toronto police and the municipality to surveil me, these people are trying to take me over by putting blocks on my way, but by constantly reporting on me, by constantly changing the template and the agenda, by having meetings constantly about me, and putting blocks in my way to keep me impoverished, to force me into sexual slavery. So I stay home and show, using directed energy weapons to train, to intimidate, to threaten, to torture, and to torture the wider family as well. Um, these things, this is the same template being used, I suspect, globally to intimidate, to blackmail, to threaten not only world leaders, but the people into following instructions that goes counterintuitive to common sense. Shut down the economy for a virus that has almost the same infection rate as a common cold. Yes, it can be really bad, a really bad cold. People who are getting pneumonia and heart attacks are people who are sick with 1, 2, 3, 4 other diseases, which the common cold would probably affect drastically as well. And some of the people will die. I mean, I almost died of a common cold once before. If I didn't go to the doctor, I would have died. So, I mean, how serious is the virus itself? And even if it is worse than the common cold, a really bad form of the virus, what other underlying factors are causing the death rate to happen so quickly, so very quickly, overnight? Like overnight, 500 people dies in a nursing home. Keep in mind, and mostly in the nursing home, not all of them, but maybe in the same area, the same geographical area, the same building. So is it possible that just like when I'm red alerted and the power is turned up on me, and when the RF goes up to over 1,000, I get heart palpitations, arrhythmia that will give me a heart attack? Is it possible that the people in the nursing homes and in the areas that the sudden death rate increases rapidly overnight, is it possible that these people are getting heart attacks from somebody turning up the power, given that there is an ongoing conflict between China and some of the Western worlds about putting up the 5G system, and the companies having the ability, the Chinese companies having the ability to use the system to spy and collect data globally. So is it possible that the 5G, which is a weapon system, satellite-based, and the satellites are already up there, a lot of them, is it possible that the nursing homes and the geographical area, the town, the city in which these people are dying suddenly, so quickly, are being exposed to very high levels of the 5G system, testing it out? Because the antennas are supposed to be really close to your house, close to the buildings, close to the nursing homes. Is it possible that if the antennas are not up on light posts, they're up on other structures close by, and the power is turned up via the antenna directed to the house? Because in a 5G system, the antennas, and I posted this video by Magna Havas that explained this, the antennas have to be very, very close to your house, and the signals have to be directed at your house. Then it will be directed at you personally. But the signals, let's just say for now, it's directed at the structure of the house. Now, could this be a test scenario where the nursing homes are being used as the people in the nursing homes are being used as guinea pigs, and the power is being turned up on the nursing homes, the structure, the building, and these people are getting heart attacks and pneumonia overnight and dying quickly. Keep in mind that there are no witnesses. Nobody's going in to check on these people because it's prohibited to visit them. The nurses and the doctors, of course, are not told of this experiment. So what they're seeing, they're going to think it's the virus. The virus is causing it. Without a microwave detector and somebody knowing what's going on, they have no way of knowing that it could be radiation that's causing it rather than the virus. My suspicion, my strong suspicion is 5G is being rolled out and it's being tested because it globally, because it is scheduled to do so. The rollout was scheduled around this time. You can read a lot of articles and a lot of news, mainstream media that states this. And 5G was never tested before the rollout. So is this the test? Is this the test of the 5G before the global rollout? My strong suspicion is that's exactly what it is. Judging, not out of my imagination. I'm not pulling this out of my imagination. Excuse me. I'm pulling it out. I am concluding or drawing these conclusions based on my personal experience with PK, a Chinese trafficker, dirty cops in the 42nd Division who put my name on a list to experiment on me. Most likely that was happening a long time before that, but not officially by an official flag. I was not officially flagged after 9/11 until after 9/11 by perpetrators in this building who lied about me. Coming home late, working late, coming home 11, 12 o'clock after working late takes me 2 hours to get home if I left the office 9, 10 o'clock. They flagged me for coming home late. She could be a prostitute. I was registered on a suspicion. And then I was monitored, and the monitoring was outsourced, and the criminals trafficked. The monitoring was remote. People were living with me, and then serially, so it's trafficking. Anyway, so this is my personal experience. And the traffickers are using directed energy weapons, turning up the power, which is the red alert, yellow alert, orange alert, different levels of power. That's what the numbers that I'm demonstrating in these videos here. This is how the numbers correspond to the alert level. So yellow alert, orange alert, red alert are different power levels on the target, which is Omar Rampersad, up in 25 Bamberg Circle in this particular instance. So the old people, maybe, of course, if they're not targets, they're not going to be red alerted. But who knows? Is it possible that the old people, when they're told to stay in their rooms, and they get up and they go to the TV room, however the nursing home is organized, the dining room, and they're not supposed to be there at that particular time? Is it possible that they're getting red alerted and they're getting zapped? So if there are 60 people in a nursing home and 30 gets infected and 15 dies, is it possible that they're being disciplined with this technology, just like I am being disciplined at 25 Bamberg Circle? You're using too much water. If I stay in the shower, and water mitigates the effects of microwaves. So if you take a bath, you fill the tub and you lie down in the tub, microwaves, at least this is what I read, and from what I personally experienced, it works. Microwaves have a harder time penetrating water. So, so if you fill the tub and you lie down, you get some relief from the symptoms. So too is standing under a shower. because the spray and the water shields you to a certain extent. Plus, it has a relaxing effect. So this building is using this system to discipline the residents. So in which case, I'm not the only one who's being hit. So the entire building is being affected by this directed energy weapon system that's either within the building, outside the building, or in a wider in a wider sense via satellite. But I think that what I'm personally experiencing while I sleep is in the building. See that reset? That was a hit. What I'm experiencing is in the building, or very close to the building if it's outside. And definitely it's around my unit, above, below. I'm strongly suspecting that there is technology underneath the unit, especially. So just like the Chinese and the board of directors are mostly Chinese, and I am being targeted, is it possible I am being targeted as a guinea pig, not only for trafficking remotely and for customizing to PK's clients and his subcontractors' clients, but also as a way of running a condominium. The residents are all snitch on each other. I have residents reporting all the Amazon people who come to my door. If I have groceries delivered and I tip a delivery person, that's reported. If I ask somebody 2 feet into my unit to drop the grocery inside of my unit, it's reported as my asking the person to come in, and all nonsense like this, just based on pure lies, just lies. This sort of reporting is in the building. Of course, this is in China as well, which is really bad in China. But a lot of the people in the building is from China. And a lot of the people in the building are old people from China. It's not Chinese born and bred Canadians. These are old people with their old thinking and their old mindset and own the set of programming that was put into them in China. They brought it with them, of course. So they're practicing it. So the whole building is being run this way. So is it possible that the old age homes will run this way? Is it possible? Maybe with or without the workers' knowledge, it could be run by an external party who decided to use the nursing home as an experiment point, an experiment building. It doesn't necessarily mean that the people in the nursing homes are involved in the experiment. It could be that an outside party decided to choose the nursing home to experiment with. And since everything and everybody in the building is seen, because the walls are see-through with millimeter waves, your bodies are see-through with millimeter waves, everything is exposed in the building. So it's like you're standing and you're looking at the inside of the building on your computer screen, and you're seeing all the people in there, all the movements, every single thing that happens inside of the building is seen on your screen. Share. Silhouette style and detail silhouette style. And you could shoot beams at these people inside of the building. Just like beams are being shot at me. My eyes were shot last night. My knees, especially. Right now, my shoulders are being shot at. Since 5G was never tested, is this the test? Is this the test? So we are being told that we need to stay inside. So if we go outside, will we be zapped? Is there going to be red alert? Somebody's going to call the cops, and they will. The cops would be called. And since the cops are turning up the power on me in the building, because the cops are actually running the experiment, are the cops going to turn up the power on the person who is outside, who they think is not supposed to be outside? notice that the cops are getting sick and the cops are pulling out of their duties. They're being pulled out, or they're staying home because they're afraid to get sick or they're infected. So who is going to take care of security? Well, there'll be only one person behind a computer who can zap anybody in the area. You don't need, instead of having 50 cops, you may need 5 cops behind computers. Now, I read somewhere that this is what um, the Israelis do in the Palestinian area. They have the border surveilled, and the Israeli soldiers sit behind computers and what I read, whether it's true or not, and I'll post the link. Um, they actually use bullets rather than microwave technology. So they kill on site. If there is a restricted area and a Palestinian person gets into the restricted area, they just kill on site by just not pulling a trigger, excuse me, by hitting a button on the computer, because the area is covered with weaponry. You think about that. We are being experimented with. Just like a scam is being run by Omar Rampersad and everybody knows, I suspect a scam is being run on our world. But in this case, everybody doesn't know. But some definitely do. So the level went down there. So the temperature is 72.1. So I suspect that the Chinese traffickers who's working for the highest of the high are using 25 Bamberg Circle as an experimental site. And somebody decided to use Omar Rampersad to go global with it, to make people aware. Because keep in mind that this is a satanic agenda, and a group of people who's running this, they operate on their own set of rules. And one of their rules is to terrorize you and let you know beforehand what they're going to do to you. So by making you aware of what's going on with Omar Rampersad, by suppressing her voice and using her as a live cadaver to experiment on and to cannibalize sexually, which is not happening because I shield. And right now my back is being pulsed, and that's the 2026. There you go. Sharp pains into the back. And there's a little old Chinese lady who lives directly above me. She's knocking directly above my head right now. Bump, bump, bump. So I'm getting stings on the elbow, on the right elbow, which is swollen. My right arm is swollen. And temperature went back up 72.1 degree. That's the 26 there. So I suspect that what is going on with me, Omar Rampersad at 25 Bamberg Circle, is the Chinese running an experiment that is meant for everybody. So I'm a subset of a group of people called targets who are flagged by the Toronto police in Toronto, other police force around the world, to test us weapons on, test the system on, the alert system, which is going to be rolled out on a global basis for everybody on a satellite system and a 5G system. So you have an antenna 20 feet away from your house. Somebody red alerts you, red alerts the cops. Somebody calls a number, and I heard that there is a number for me. Somebody calls the number for you or the house, because everybody will have an ID, and the power will suddenly be turned up on your house or on you personally inside of your house. There is no need for cops. The cops are going to be disappeared. I'm sorry, I don't mean killed off necessarily. I mean, there is going to be no need for a police department. So there's going to be mass retirement and no hiring. So this is where it's headed. This is where it's headed. So it's going in half an hour. I was actually streaming while I was eating and showing you the numbers, and my camera got frozen. So so my right arm is being hit constantly, and my right neck is being hit. $23 is a hit. So when I'm done, I'm going to take my blood pressure. 26 is a hit on the neck. And my breast is being pulsed as well as between the legs. And that's the 26 right there. So this is my hand. See how high the electricity is? Notice the RF went down when I blocked the sensor from the top. That's because the microwaves are coming from the top. Take my hand away, the RF goes up. So it cuts the RF number by 50%. The EF goes up because the electricity is coming from my hand. Contact with my hand increases the electricity. There it is right there again. Maximum power. My hand is conductive. Take the hand away, the RF goes up, EF drops. And if you look at my other videos, you'll see that there is a consistency. It happens every single time, without exception, every single time. The EF goes up exponentially, the RF drops a little. Put the hand on. This is not in my head, folks. Take the hand away. So the temperature of my hand I wonder what the temperature of the hand would be. The temperature of the hand is 36.5. 36.5. The right hand is 36.6. Left hand, 36.6. Put the hand back on, and I'll stop at 30 minutes. And I could actually feel the pulsing on my body. I could feel the pulses. So the EF drops, the RF goes up. So I'm going to stop there.